Yeah.
So where have we directed it to? The refineries are not working yet. You know, so what industries have they been used? In what other ways? Because no nation on earth ever survives. No government ever survives for long without some level of subsidy. You know, you hosted a woman on a program that I watched who happened to be the medical director of
Asaba
Specialist Hospital. And some of the segments that I followed with, it talked about women who come in there and deliver, even cesarean, without
free of
paying
charge.
That's subsidy.
That's subsidy.
That's a level of subsidy.
Yeah.
There are nations of the world to manage criminality. Those who do not have job are also on some social stipends and earnings. So that monthly, weekly, you line up somewhere,
You have something
present you have something so that you do not get to the level where you become a problem to those who have something to. So there are dynamics of how you manage societies. So I don't think Atiku is saying that he is going to in entirety remove subsidy, but he will subsidize the crude to go to the refineries. So that at the end of the day, that will curb the hardship on
when the products come out.
But again, yes, because we are followed up with how it has been in the past up to 4 years now.
Yes.
So he is saying he will do it differently. That's an issue-based kind of campaign. We expect the presidency to respond to him based on the issues that raise, and not that he is desperation, that he is the desperate.
Atiku has also said that his plan or his strategy for ensuring that Nigeria becomes very sustainable when it comes to energy with regards to petroleum and fuel is also monitoring each barrel until it gets to the tank, which is what some other countries are already doing. But beyond that, now that we're talking about subsidy spendings ahead of the 2027 election, we know that over 30 trillion naira has been expended and 15 saved as at 2025 December. Is it valid for the federal government to come out now and give us a breakdown of how subsidy, the subsidy removal and derivatives have been expended?
That's what the opposition have had to call for. And that's what Atiku is hinging on. Give account to the people. What the federal government keeps doing up until this morning is more like, in some balance, blackmailing the states and the local government. That so much money is going to those tiers. Yes, but that's of course
is it
talking
from the
about
subsidy money. We need to be sure.
No. They should explain to Nigerians that is the principle of accountability.
Okay.
Because if you say more money is now going to the states, hold the states accountable. How has that translated into improved welfare, development?
Yes.
So much is going into security, and nobody is giving account of the security vote. The more we spend on security, the more we are seeing the blossoming of insecurity.
Okay.
So we need to ask questions and demand accountability. It's not enough for the federal government to say, oh, states are getting more money now. How has that translated to development?
To better life.
How has that translated to better life? Or are you saying that because the kind of fiscal federalism we are practicing in Nigeria is about sharing. You gather at the center and you are sharing. This is also a disincentive on states that we want to internally generate
revenue.
Okay.
And what are they sharing? Money derived from the South, money derived from crude. Are there no resources in other parts of the country? And at what point can we go back to generate what you have within, pay royalty to the center, so that there can be competitiveness among states? Let us look at our areas of economic core competence and see how we can generate more so that we can develop.
Accelerated regional development.
Exactly.
All right, so much on that. Let's move to other issues. 435 billion naira has been given to states to support security issues and, of course, infrastructure. Is that a welcome development?
I think that story is from Punch. And if you study it further down, Punch brought that more as an analysis. As weekends are approaching, you look at certain issue-based reports. And Punch ended by saying that the more this money is being given to the states, the more we are having issues of insecurity, including the kidnap of students in schools. And they tied it to issue of Safe School Initiative. That the more the federal government is spending or claims that it has spent on keeping our schools safer, the more we are having. And close to about 600 students or pupils that have been kidnapped within this time space. So I think Punch brought that is a whole lot of an analytical report that they had. This is what the federal government say is expending through the states and local government. But look at the reality on ground. For Nigerians that's a professional way of straying the situation. For analytical readers to now see and know whether the money being spent is being utilized for the purpose or whether it's a case of money filtering away. Because there are a whole number of phony projects that we are told that there are budget tracks that have been assigned to them. But at the end of the day, it's not translating to if budgeting and public expenditure is not translating to development, then there is a lacuna which you should hold leadership accountable.
The infrastructure leg of the dispensing of the money, they say for security and infrastructure. Are we looking at roads?
If you're looking at infrastructure, the roads are bad. And there is a nexus between the bad roads and the insecurity.
That's right.
That is why what the bandits do, the terrorists do, with motorbike, they use bike.
Yeah, because they can.
Yes,
they can
and by the
escape.
time the police is trying to see how to follow them with their kind of vehicle and all that, they know, they meander and they go. So if you have opened up the territory with improved road networks, and if you have a steady power supply, if a place has improved road network and is lighted up, then of course you see that there is a lower tendency of insecurity, especially if you also engage the youthful population. They are engaged in the factories and they are engaged in economic activities. But by the time you find out that the road network in a number of states are only restricted to a few of the urban areas, and you see that the areas that are coming up do not have road network, then of course it's going to translate to not just insecurity, but of course increased cost of food items.
That's right.
Because most of the agricultural activities happen in the hinterland. To bring them to evacuate them to the marketplace. So at the end of the day, you see that the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics could be churning out some statistics that do not add up when the reality in the marketplace, between the citizen and the marketplace economy is being considered.
All right, so much on that. Let's move over to another issue. Retired pensioners to undergo recapturing. Data recapturing, they say that's what is delaying the payment of revised pension. So recapturing them, what are we recapturing? Somebody entered the service, public service, or whatever, the military, he was captured. He presented all documents. He retired formally. And then what are you capturing? Are you authenticating him or revalidating him?
Yes.
Well, this is a very sad scenario that is playing out. But incidentally, it's not entirely new. We find a situation where Nigeria is about one of those countries where people give out their best in their prime, for the love of their fatherland. And by the time they need, they are not asking the government to give them money. It's compulsory saving.
What they are entitled to.
What they are entitled, compulsory saving while they were in service. That is now the time you tell the people about data recapturing. We got across to some of the pension boards.
Yeah.
And let's start from that. There are people, when they retire, for them to get their entitlement, it takes 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Either the
On the
gratuity,
average, between 3 and 5 years.
Yes, 5 years. So when they get at the 50th, and many are not alive to get. So while they are waiting, at that critical time,
some of them pass on.
Some of them pass on.
Yeah.
Some of them pass on. So by the time you now have a situation where perhaps they have said, oh, you now are entitled for your pension, and you get in there and they say data recapturing on a yearly basis. Currently, they say the pension bureau has an issue with NIMSI, and their systems are down. How long will the system be down that you cannot recapture anybody? Because the issue is not that the pensioners are not ready to be recaptured, but that the system is down. What responsible organization will allow their system to be down for a week, 2, 3, close to 1 month now?
People's life
system
and money is
down. And so when we saw some military pensioners who were protesting, and I heard one of them say over and over again that today is a good day to die.
Yes.
He said, today is a good day to die. I have served this nation in Liberia. I have staked my life and death didn't come. But that today is a good day to die. That he needs his entitlement. So, and you ask yourself, a person who staked his life for his fatherland, what more sacrifice you need? And there are some people who are pension administrators who are there building houses with what rightfully should go to people.
Saved for their future.
What should, no, I'm not talking of what you.
What should go to the pension?
What should go to the pensioners?
That's what I'm saying.
The administrators.
Their future.
The administrators are using it
Yes, to
on their own.
Yeah. What does this say? Really?
Yeah, that was a fellow who was saying that no, I can't take it anymore. That if there's any day to die, it should be today. That today is a good day to die. That's the guy. Today is a good day to die. Today is a good day to die.
Put somebody in desperation.
That's the inspiration of the highest order.
Yeah.
He says he will die. That he would rather die. Because of course, the man had already died.
Maybe borrow money from people to travel to Abuja.
We keep seeing scenarios like this. What does this say about the willingness of our government, not just this government, because it's not peculiar to the present administration. We've seen this over time. So it has become like our default setting. What does this say about how we value patriotism, service to the fatherland, and taking care of those who are keeping the center?
Dr. Ife, the answer to your question is in the question.
Okay.
Because how do they say? In some balances in Africa, they say if an albino sees how a fellow albino is being buried, he now knows the fate that is awaiting him when he dies. And how do people respond to this situation? Today I am here, anchoring this show. And I know that the moment I am retired from here, that there is nothing awaiting me. nothing to fall, no fallback mechanism.
yeah.
So what do I do? Desperation.
yes, I take
Whatever I
advantage
can
of
take
system.
now, I take it now.
Yeah.
Because today is a good day to live.
Yes.
Yes.
Today is a good day to live.
Yeah.
Because by the time you live here, you know, then you will be coming on a protest of today is a good day to die. You know, so it also makes people not to give in their all. They say civil servants are not coming to work. When you see those that retire the way they are being, so you know that you should have a second address.
That's right.
Okay.
No, you are working in so place. Then there is a vacant land by your side. Then you start off a block industry there. Sometime now, for you to supply, then you come late to your office.
Yeah.
Why? Because
Or
you know
or you leave the office to go and supply.
you know that if you give your all to the system, at the end of
you
the
have
day,
to
your
change yourself.
frustration may come in its all.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yes.
So people now talk about more multi-streaming coming, you know, diversification and all that. But we should be able to value people who have given their all to the system.
Yes, but I want to say that this is actually becoming alarming. It is no longer, it is not the first time, like we have said here. We can also
It's become
see,
a pattern.
yes, it has become a pattern
It's become
because
a pattern,
this
but not a healthy
increase,
pattern.
yes, this increment was, announced last year, 2025, and now it has not been implemented. This same retired personnel that has come out to protest now. Also, I think 2006 or so, some retired pensioners then they came out to protest, and this set of persons were actually asked to come out to cool them down. And now it is their turn. So to tell you the time, the time frame that it has been, so it is not healthy.
It's not.
It's not healthy. I don't
It's
know because
not.
now they sent another set of 7 personnel to come and cool them down. So what is this now saying? Do you think this will translate to these ones now coming out to cool this retired down? What will it be in their own time? As in, what can be done to curb all this?
It still boils down to what I said with respect to an albino witnessing the burial pattern of a fellow albino. So we need to honor our senior citizens who have given their best, their all to the system. So that because it contributes to the talk of life expectancy.
That's right.
How come that when people retire, the 1-2 years after their retirement happen to be the most critical years?
Yeah.
You understand? Trauma.
How you survive?
Many don't survive it. Many don't survive it, especially when there is no fallback mechanism. And that is why you see a situation where 10 years down the line, 5 years to retirement, you see people, you check on them in the office and they are not there. They are in their second address.
Yes.
That's right.
Because they know that
like
the
second
transition has started.
All right.
The transition has started.
Go for it. We'll continue. We still have a couple of headlines to look at. We'll take a break now. When we come back, we'll round off with them. Wake up with us every morning.
We bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives. Yes, welcome back. And of course, we shift to the Lagos-Calabar coastal road that has been immersed in controversy, especially because of the huge amount of money being spent on it. And people are asking, is that what Nigerians need now? Now there's a twist to it. People are already vandalizing the iron, this thing they use for the manholes and all that. So, and temple already held. Can't we do without, destroying what we are building?
Well, I think it's about citizenship engagement.
Yeah.
If I'm convinced that this project will impact positively on my life, I will own it.
Okay.
And if I own a project, or a community owns a project, they will protect it. But by the time that a project appears, from intent and purposes, the people believe that it's foisted on them, or they can't connect with how it's going to impact on their life. Then, of course, you see display of this high level of lack of patriotism. You understand? That having been said, we also look at the issue of security. We witnessed what happened even in the second Niger Bridge.
Yes, second Niger Bridge. So
where
that level of security you're talking about
went in there, to cut out some parts of the rail.
Yes.
To use for aluminium processing or whatever. They say spoons can be made out of it and all that. But while it is there saving lives and thousands and millions of people.
Yeah, facilitating community.
Yes, literally connecting the south-south to the south.
With southeast. Of what value is it compared to the value of you cutting out part of it and the implication of loss of lives that can be
on
there,
the road,
and you now earning some money because you
very little money.
You turn that into scrap, or you turn it into using it for a secondary manufacturing thing. So I think people need to be further educated. Then, of course, if you travel outside the nations of the world, you see that the tendency for people to be disciplined is because the cameras are watching.
Okay.
You understand? Otherwise,
elevated security.
Yes, elevated security. Otherwise, people are ready to just blow past any checkpoint. But by the time you know that when you are about to renew your driver's license, that all those records are there and that you'll be surcharged, then of course you are compelled to behave according to the rule. But by the time you know that you can you can send people to so place, get things vandalized, and the system has no way of bringing you to book, then of course it becomes like an incentive for more people to do that kind of a thing, which on its own is not.
All right, finally, on this segment, we have Nigeria still retained in the list of countries of particular concern.
By the
how
US.
does that? By the US. US had listed us among countries of particular concern. What are the particular concerns about our country?
Concern of security.
Christian killing.
Concern of
genocide.
Government not being able to protect the citizens. Concern of degenerating almost to a failed state. Even concern of insensitivity to a sizable population, the Christian population. Those are concerns. By the time you have a government arrangement where the number one, number two, they call it Muslim ticket, and they are flying again with it. And by the time you see a situation where communities in the Middle Belt, communities in the Plateau are being wiped out on irregular basis. Churches are still being attacked, and people are being picked out of school. Then, of course, a responsible nation will have to put up a travel guide to his citizen and say, we advise you.
Yeah.
If you must go
Of course,
to Nigeria,
that has been done.
if you must go to
About
Nigeria,
11 states now.
if you must go to
they have
Nigeria,
asked their nationals not to visit these
these are
states.
trouble spots.
Yeah.
Do not go.
Visit.
And of course, that as a country, we are not in a hurry to remove Nigeria from that list of a country of particular concern. And these are concerns. And the question, the worry really is, are these concerns abating by the day, or the concerns are being confirmed by the way we carry on as a nation?
Now, ordinarily, what should be the response of, because when your country is listed among those that are of concern by a country like the US, we expect a response from our governments, either a promise or action taken. So what do we expect the Nigerian government to do to respond to this kind of situation?
More of the action.
Okay.
More of the action.
When you say action,
Action,
No,
yes,
show
action.
working.
When when they say terrorists attack a community in Benue or Plateau, then we want to see a commensurate action
By the
of
government.
who and who were picked,
Yeah.
okay.
charged, and possibly sentenced
Yeah.
to show that we are not in a state, Thomas Hobbes state of nature, where life has become short, brutish, and nasty. We all surrendered our sovereignty to a government that becomes a sovereign. That government, the first obligation that it owes us is the
protect us.
security of life and property. And when it has fallen short of that, something is short of a modern state. And that is the example that America is. Don't forget, if this happens once in a while kind of a thing, isolated cases.
It happens everywhere around the
But
world.
if it becomes a pattern,
And then
that is the worry.
and the government does not show up to show any concern.
That
about
is
what
the
has
worry. They have taken it as a norm. We only see our security when if the president is visiting Maiduguri to go and campaign tomorrow, Borno State, Maiduguri,
Of course, all the CPs and all the
they mobilize the
all
vote.
the-
That is
all
when
the
we show
service
our
chiefs.
security. So
Apparatus.
yeah, because the life of the president,
Is-
the vice president came to Delta State. People could hardly move from the airport to the venue of where he came. You understand? That is when we display our security prowess. You understand? Then the question now is, why can't we do that in our schools? Why can't we do that in our communities?
Soon enough, at the United Nations General Assembly, the president will be addressing the world. Do you think that
where he
this
will be
issue,
sitting next to
to
3 seats
President
away.
Trump,
3 seats away
Yeah, so-
from Trump?
is this, are Nigerians expecting and the international community expecting him? Because this issue, the idea of
course, he
the
has to address them.
congressman
He should.
talking about the fact that they're maintaining Nigeria on the CPC list, are they setting agenda for the president?
Yeah, we expect that he will utilize that platform. Yes, talk beyond his reforms and the impact of the reforms.
Okay.
Know that the world has become a global community. Talk on the issue of the religious harmony and, of course, the issue of security in the state. How Nigeria is being restored.
that's the much time can permit us on paper review this morning. Thank you, Godfrey, for being there.
very much.
We also expect that when the president goes there, he will campaign to the world for his next re-election. Viewer, just sit by, keep watching Morning Dew, because when we come back, we'll go to sports. Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
Good morning and welcome to Today in History on Dott TV, where we throw back to important events and personalities connected to this day in previous years. August 21st has witnessed significant events that shaped Nigeria Africa and the wider world. On this day in 1936, Nigerian politician Abdulkadir Balarabe Musa was born. He later became governor of Kaduna State from 1979 to 1981 and was the first Nigerian state governor to be impeached. Also in 1990, the Economic Community of the West African States, ECOWAS, deployed ECOMOG to Liberia to intervene in the country's civil war. Nigeria was a major contributor to the regional peacekeeping force. On this day in 1986, the Lake Nyos disaster occurred in Cameroon when a massive release of carbon dioxide killed about 1,746 people and thousands of livestock, making it one of Africa's deadliest natural disasters.
Yes, welcome back. That's our link to sports. Anticipation everywhere. Tomorrow, of course, the leagues are starting in the UK, and football lovers will be back on track. Yeah, Tony.
Yeah.
You're in the studio already.
Yes.
How are you today?
I'm doing
Good
very
morning,
well. Good
Sporty
morning.
Tony.
Good
How are
morning,
you today?
everybody. I'm
Tony.
doing well. Well,
I like that.
if you preach what you don't practice, I don't quite think there is a good preaching. I mean, you're a preacher yourself, you know what I mean. So I practice what I preach, and that's why I look sporty. Well, like you said, you already gave a clue of what I was about to say. Yes, it's back. The Premier League is back, and for a lot of football loving fans, especially a lot of Nigerians who support clubs based in England, it is a fantastic day. Today, it starts with a Friday night kickoff, and that will be defending champions Arsenal taking on the champions of the Championship.
Yeah.
That's the second division, which
The
is
wonderful
Coventry.
one.
Yes, the wonderful
Your
one.
upcoming Coventry.
Yes, of course. And for Coventry, 10 years ago, 10 years ago, they were relegated to League Two. That is the fourth year of English football. But look how far they've come now in the 10-year space, and they're back in the big time. And for manager Frank Lampard, he's definitely got experience. He's been here before, with relatively different levels of success. At Chelsea, yes, did well at his first stint. If you remember, with this team of very young players like Mason Mount, Tammy Abraham, Fikayo Tomori, that under a transfer ban when Eden Hazard had just left as well, he found a way to qualify Chelsea for the Champions League. So that in itself at the time was an incredible achievement. Struggled at Everton and in his second spell at Chelsea, but now he's back with Coventry, who for Mikel Arteta and his Arsenal side will be a tough test. Yes, the first day of every league season is always difficult because you have a lot of teams who want to compete, who want to, get stuck in because, the adrenaline is there. You're here for the first time in a long time. So that will also make for a difficult game tonight for Arsenal. But going into the season overall, Arsenal are definitely favourites to win this title because if you look at their team, definitely they are defending champions to start with. And then secondly, the fact that they, are strengthening from a position of dominance already. You look across all of the teams in England, they either have a new manager. 11 of the 20 teams in the Premier League this season have a new manager in charge. And for Arsenal, Arteta is the longest serving manager in the Premier League now. Since Pep Guardiola has left, he's been there for 7 years. So that shows you stability, shows you continuity, shows you consistency, and all of that will be ingredients for a very successful. Or as you can see, they already bagged one silverware this season already, and they're looking fantastically well set to go on to defend that Premier League title and maybe finally break that Champions League duck that they are fighting. But aside from tonight's game, a lot of other mouth-watering ties as well. 12:30, the early kickoff tomorrow. Manchester United will travel to MKM Stadium to take on Hull City, who have an incredible story as well. Last season, had a trifecta embargo, couldn't sign a lot of players. They used the players they have, found their way into the playoffs, made it to the finals, and qualified to join to come back to the Premier League for the first time in over 10 years. So for a lot of the teams you look across in the Premier League, there's an incredible story. Achunili Kelly, the Turkish owner of the club Hull City, suffered a very tragic loss of his parents at a very young age in a car crash. Managed to build his life around, ultimately got enough money, and now he's a big boy, big Turkish media personality, got the club in England, and he's been really, really forward with his robust replies to people who think Hull City will go down. He's been very, very upfront with the team, He's been even posting updates of their transfer targets on his Twitter page. That's how involved he is with the fans. So he's a breath of fresh air, to say the least. Just like Marinakis, when Forest just got promoted to the Premier League, you see something different. And that's what we've seen with Achune Nikeli. So, and then across on Sunday as well, the big one up there in Tyneside at St. James's Park, Newcastle United will play host to Liverpool in what will be a very, very challenging season for Newcastle United. Their manager, Eddie Howe, has gone now. Have a lot of young players in the squad. Bruno Guimaraes is gone. And that is the full list of the fixtures that will come up this weekend. Bruno Guimaraes, like I said, is gone. Anthony Gordon, gone. And a lot of the good players at Newcastle United that used to be really well. But most importantly, Eddie Howe himself, the coach, has also left the club. So it looks like it's going to be a very, very tricky season for Newcastle United in the one that is coming up. And then, of course, secondly, we move over to the United States, where the US Open in the world of tennis is just 9 days away. And big news, the prize money for this year's US Open has also shot up again. Now they have a total prize package of $108 million. And that will be shared across a lot of the competitors. And the winners this time around will walk away. For the men's and the women's, the US Open became the first major Grand Slam in the world to actually pay male and female athletes the same prize money. Because usually, yes, but you can understand why in other Grand Slams, the men have to play best of 5 sets. Women have to play best of 3 sets. So sometimes you see men on the court for about 5 hours straight. But the highest a women's match can go is max 3 hours because you just play 3 sets. So that for that reason, the men usually get paid more because they spend more time on court than the women. But the US Open for about 3 years now has been paying the two genders same amount. And this year that money has even gone up to now $5.5 million. So if you win the Grand Slam,
play the length of hours.
No, they still play the best of 3 sets. Yeah, they still play the best of 3 sets, but men still play best of 5, but they get paid equal prize monies. And also most importantly, if you qualify, just the fact that you play in the first round, you get $140,000. And if you understand how difficult it is,
a lot of money spinning.
Yes, but if you understand how difficult it is to play tennis, because as a tennis player, you're in this continent this week, the next week you're flying to another continent to play on the tour. And if you do not play, your ranking points will drop, which means you will not qualify automatically for this kind of tournaments. You now have to go through qualification processes, or you hope for a wild card, which usually only goes to local players or the best players in the world over time. Like we've seen, Serena has been getting a lot of wild cards recently. Her sister as well, Venus, has been getting. So you have to deserve to get the wild cards, or maybe be a local, because the idea is always that maybe if, like Wimbledon, we saw in England, a lot of English or British young stars in tennis will get free wild cards to get into the tournament because you are hosting, you are part of the hosting show. But aside from those, circumstances, it is hard to come by. So you have to keep playing tournaments across different parts of the world to get ranking points that will ultimately propel you into championships like this. So that costs a lot of money. Traveling alone is a lot of money. You have to accommodate yourself whenever you travel. You need to get equipment as well. Tennis equipments are not easy to come by. They're not cheap, to purchase. So the fact that only playing so if you even play just the first round and get knocked out, you get $140,000 is a lot, a lot of encouragement for players, and that's up by 27% from what it was last year when they got paid something close to $110,000 or $115,000. So that is a lot of money, and it is very encouraging for a lot of tennis stars. And still on Flushing Meadows over there in Washington, Carlos Alcaraz is back because after 4 months out with a wrist injury, the man on your right hand side on the screen there, the 23-year-old Spaniard, is back to defend his US Open title. He missed out in the 4-month period. He missed the French Open, which is Roland Garros. He also missed the Wimbledon, but finally he's back. And the person on the screen as well before that, Yannick Sinner, the Italian, he's also set to compete as well. And if you know tennis enough, you know that these two people right here are two of the hottest prospects. In fact, they are world number 1 and 2 respectively. That is Sinner and Alcaraz. And they're also joined by, Alexander Zverev and Novak Djokovic, if you go down, on the list. So the fact that the two of them will be available is an encouragement. It is something, especially for the viewers and for the marketers of this tournament. It is a big boost for them. But also, most importantly, it's left to be seen how the two of them will fare, because leading up to this tournament, they've not actually played on any hard court surface. Sinner himself is struggling with a knee injury, and like I said, Alcaraz is back after 4 months with a wrist injury. So it's left to be seen how ready they really are. So I won't be surprised if come Sunday evening, which is the 30th of August, that's when the whole thing kicks off. If come Sunday, their first round games, they struggle. That usually happens. The top
Yes.
players always struggle
Yes.
in the first round. But once you recover from that,
through.
yes, you scale through, then it becomes a lot easier because then you are fitter, you are more mobile, and your body is back on the court. So it's left to be seen how far they will go. And finally, to wrap up, some very good news. If you love football in Nigeria, this is good news because the news broke yesterday that the ICPC and the EFCC are investigating the NFF for
plenty money given
yes
to them.
up to the tune of 12 billion naira that was released by the federal government in 2024 to pay the bonuses and allowances of the different national teams. I mean, like I said, it's still under investigation. It's still a sketchy news. Nothing really. There's still some meat to put on the bone. But like I said, this can only be good news because we've seen literally Nigerian football decline over the last 15 years or so. You know, when people say, it's bad because the Super Eagles didn't qualify for the 2026 World Cup or the Super Falcons are not going to be. It started even way before.
You get
that.
why?
It started even way before that.
not
After we
the
won the AFCON in
players.
2013,
Yes.
I think that AFCON win in 2013 was the kiss of death to Nigerian football. Because a lot of people who were underperforming felt that winning the AFCON was a justification of the underperformance, and they relaxed. They sat back, qualified for the AFCON in 2013, played the 2014 World Cup, get knocked out in the first knockout round, qualify for the 2018 World Cup, get knocked out in the group stages, and that was it. That was it. We've not seen Nigeria at the World Cup since then.
Yes.
So I think this investigation is a welcome development as long as the due processes are followed and the people who are caught, if they are caught, will be adequately punished. I don't mind.
We hope we see the end of this because sometimes we hear that investigations have started.
And then it just gets swept under the carpet.
In other climes, we have those who have played football
Yes.
become the administrator of football in such countries. Why is it not possible for us to have
It's
former
not.
footballers?
It's not a guarantee that somebody plays football.
Look at Eto Fils.
Yeah, of course, of course.
He's rewarded.
They are lucky because then they have somebody who knows how to run the game as well as being a passionate person about the game. Sometimes being passionate is not good because then you take impulsive, rash decisions that ultimately harm the football federation. So, like in France, for instance, the head of the FFF is not necessarily a football guy. He wasn't a football guy, but he's an astute administrator. So when it does, like I said, having played, just like in coaching, having played at the professional level or at the highest level does not guarantee that you will be a success. But what it does is give you a bit of an inside knowledge of what players. Yes, when the things were good, especially one of those people who played, in the golden ages of Nigerian football, which was the 90s, really, a lot of them knew what administrators were doing that made them so successful at the time. Although they still come out with stories of how they had to fund themselves. I mean, Okocha offered an interview on Mikel's podcast a few weeks ago now, a few days ago, and he was saying things about how, even that rosy as it seemed in the 1996 Olympics, it wasn't really all that rosy because then there were issues. Yes, there were issues. But
even Bonfrey
said he has not been paid up
so much, Anthony.
This investigation is
Anthony today for sports. Thank you for coming.
The pleasure.
And of course,
thank you so much, Anthony.
when we come back, go to other conversation. Stand by. Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives. Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives. Yes, welcome back. And of course, it's time to mean business because the business woman, Louisa Asidi, is in the studio. How are you this morning?
I am fine.
Good to always see you. You
Looking all
encourage us.
business.
Good to have you,
Good to
Louisa.
have
When
you.
we look at you, we won't go to Canada again. We'll stay here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you look good.
Oh, thank you so
You're
much.
welcome. So what do you have for
what's
us?
topical?
I have a lot. But first of all, let's start with cement because the price has jumped again. In parts of Lagos this week, a single bag went to as much as 16,000 naira. Just days earlier, it was 13. To put that in real terms, 100,000 naira now buys you only about 6 bags of cement. 6. Now, meet Jude Njuku. He bought an unfinished bungalow off the Lagos-Badagry Expressway, raising to complete it before a quick notice runs out at the end of next month. He bought cement on Friday at 13,000, went back on Monday, it's 16. Now, he says he can't stop the work and he can't afford to continue it either. And it isn't just about cement. Blocks, sand, granite, iron, all of it up sharply. Building a modest home now costs nearly double what it did a few years ago. Let's not even talk about the price of land. Now, here's why it matters. Rent isn't getting cheaper either. In some parts of Lagos, it's climbed as much as 200% in 2 years. For many families, rent now swallows around 70% of income. The global healthy benchmark is 30. So are the prices ever going to stop rising? The competition regulator, the FCCPC, says it's found possible price manipulation in the cement market. An initial finding, no company has been named yet. However, the question the FCCPC and every home builder is asking is, in a country with this much limestone, why do we pay so much for something as simple as cement? Now, if prices keep moving like that, how on earth do you save? Turns out most of us cannot manage to do so. A new survey from MoneyPoint found that for almost 3 out of 4 Nigerians, it's the unexpected expense that drains their savings. A sudden medical bill, a repair, an increase in cost, and savings are emptied out. For about half of savers, the income itself is irregular. Money comes in unevenly, so it can't be set aside evenly. Now, the study here shows that it's not that people don't want to save, it's that life keeps interrupting, and when everything from cement to transport is climbing, the savings never get a chance to build. That's the quiet story behind so many household budgets right now. Not recklessness. Just imagine that's been squeezed until there's nothing left over. So let's pull back and look at the whole economy because there's actually some good news mixed in here. The Nigerian Economic Summit Group says the economy is picking up. Growth reached nearly 4% early this year, up from 3% the year before, and they expect it to strengthen further, around 4.2% for the full year. Inflation, while still high, has been easing. The reforms, they say, are starting to work. However, there is a warning. As we head towards the 2027 elections, spending tends to increase significantly. And the group is cautious that a wave of pre-election spending could undo some of that hard-won stability. All that money that starts moving around usually ends up pushing prices back up and slowing the reforms down. Remember, government debt is already at a record high, more than 159 trillion naira. So the issue for the year ahead is really this: the economy versus the election spending. Which one win could decide whether we experience any easing in our cost of living? We'll keep tracking it with you.
Interesting. Anytime you speak to us about this, it's just a reflection of the realities that we're all faced with. You mentioned that the savings never get a chance to build.
Yes.
And that reminded me, in all the business books that we read, we're told that savings is
The sure way.
yes, it's sure. It's something you have to remove. It is statutory. So whatever you spend, whether there is an emergency, your saving doesn't get touched.
Yes.
Can that be the reality in Nigeria still, given all that we are seeing, given
I doubt.
the interruptions?
I doubt. Like,
They'll say,
inflation
don't
is
touch
so
your
high right
savings
now.
no
Because
matter
like you
what.
said, the unexpected expenditure
Yes.
often
Medical
swallows
bill
up
could come up.
everything.
A fire, maybe a fire engulfs your business, or maybe an increase in price of something that you buy on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And so many other things. And then you realize that you have eaten into 50% of your savings, even more than.
That's if you saved.
That's if you actually save, if
But
you're even able to
the
save.
the one of great concern for me is the price of cement and building materials. It's really a sorry
alarming.
situation.
Yes.
Because it now becomes a situation where we think that somebody can work his whole life and is not able to build a house for himself, which is a big tragedy. Now, paying of rent is now very, very challenging.
Very.
Every day, the rent is increasing. The salary is not increasing. Like you said, you gave 70%, of one salary is taken up by rent. So what is left to address the other humongous issues? It's a serious situation that we find
So
ourselves in.
social housing, we'll keep talking about it. The fact that we can get some sense of subsidy from social housing intervention schemes, that it's government that can do that. Because when the private sector comes
But it's the
into
government, that is crying that it has no money.
Other
It's the
than
government that
that,
does not have money.
It's a form of
That's the
subsidy
problem.
as well. All these subsidy spendings we hear about, so some of that can be channeled into social housing schemes, especially for civil servants, all these organized unions. They can be accommodated, and we build up as well so that we can accommodate a lot of people in one building. That way, perhaps we can begin to reverse some of
If
this.
anything-
that is
and
actually
discourage-
good. That's actually a good
if
idea.
anything.
But the price of cement, we have limestone surplus in Nigeria. So why is the price
Why
of
is
cement
it-
so high?
That's
That is
why I
the
said
big
there is
question.
possibly manipulation, and it's
Yes,
good that they're investing.
because
Why
if you look
is
at
it
other
taking
countries,
long to
invest
manipulate the
in-
manipulation for the sake of the people?
If you look
You
at
see,
other countries,
government-
Kenya doesn't have
government
so much
dodges
limestone
of its
as Nigeria,
responsibility.
but their cement, the bag of cement is cheaper than ours. It's absurd.
Very absurd.
And just recently, we saw on the news that the EFCC and the federal government is also complaining that why should a bag of cement be sold for 15,000 naira? And now we're hearing that it has moved
To
higher
16.
to 16,000. So
It was
what is
13, now
going
it's
on?
16.
So
what is happening? So
why?
does that
Why?
mean-
So they are wondering where has it led us to?
Where
It has
where
left us
this,
wondering.
investigation led us to
I don't
that
understand.
they've
I don't
seen. So
understand.
doesn't mean that the ordinary citizen, like the ordinary citizen, the ordinary man cannot raise or think of raising a foundation with this kind of
You're talking
economy that
about.
we're
We're even
having
talking
right
about
now.
paying rent now, not even foundation.
It's
Because now, in places now in urban areas, the average cost of a piece of land, wherever you get it, is between 10 and 20 million.
That's
Yes.
right.
Now, a civil servant who is earning 120,000 or 150,000, what savings is he going to do to get 20 million to just buy land?
To just buy
And
land.
do you know the most alarming of it? It's not that even like what really eats up our savings right now is, these medical bills, unforeseen
Yes.
circumstances, things that you don't even imagine, you don't
Incidentals.
plan for, incidental, which just happens, and you've been saving all your life because everything now is so expensive.
If
It's on the
you have a
rise.
car.
The cost of living is so on the rise right now that you don't even know what really is
Something has to be done. Government has to address it because
government has to
if
intervene.
you put 20,000 naira fuel in your car, you are going to use it for about 2 days.
That's if it's
So the
not
question
reached
You're not
2
going
days.
far.
The
If you're
question
not going
is, so what are we living for? What are
Exactly.
we having government
Where are
for?
these reforms,
Well-
the government reforms? Where are they? Where are the FG reforms?
That is
Where
why.
are
That's
they?
the question we Nigerians
that is
are
why-
asking.
It's all right.
What we
Lisa,
need
we
is more
thank
interventions
you
by
for
government
coming.
to
Thank
subsidize
you
our
for-
lives.
Thank you for saying it the way it is. We hope that, as we say, there is work going on for things to get better.
Yes.
Thank you for being a businesswoman.
Oh, thank you so
All
much.
All right, you are
Things.
still hold on with us. We still have other issues when we come back.
Good morning and welcome to Today in History on Dott TV, where we throw back to important events and personalities connected to this day in previous years. August 21st has witnessed significant events that shaped Nigeria, Africa, and the wider world. On this day in 1936, Nigerian politician Abdulkadir Balarabe Musa was born. He later became governor of Kaduna State from 1979 to 1981 and was the first Nigerian state governor to be impeached. Also in 1990, the Economic Community of the West African States, ECOWAS, deployed ECOMOG to Liberia to intervene in the country's civil war. Nigeria was a major contributor to the regional peacekeeping force. On this day in 1986, the Lake Nyos disaster occurred in Cameroon when a massive release of carbon dioxide killed about 1,746 people and thousands of livestock, making it one of Africa's deadliest natural disasters. In 1944, the Dumbarton Oaks Conference began in Washington, D.C., where Allied powers discussed plans that helped lay the foundation for the creation of the United Nations, which Nigeria later joined as an independent nation. Also in 1957, the Soviet Union successfully tested the R-7 Semyoka, the world's first successful intercontinental ballistic missile, marking a major development in Cold War technology. In 1959, Hawaii became the 50th state of the United States after President Dwight D. Eisenhower formally proclaimed its statehood. August 21st definitely connects Nigeria's political history, the country's civil war, Africa's regional peacekeeping efforts, major natural disasters, and landmark events that shaped the modern world. Those are some of the moments and personalities that made August 21st significant in Nigerian, African, and world history. I am Peace Nwokburu. Thanks for watching.
Wake up with us every morning.
We bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives. Hello there, welcome back. And of course, we are going into a conversation that is of concern to many families, many marriages, many societies, talking about parenting, how we are raising our kids, how we should raise our children in the 21st century. There are so many challenges, so many distractions. And of course, some people have, been able to distinguish themselves in counseling, psychology, on what should be done, to navigate through this rather difficult situation. So we have in the studio a woman who is in the know because one, she's a Christian and she believes in godly living, talking about Mrs. Blessing David Aibokifo. She's a teacher. Of course, when I say teacher, she's a teacher of the Word of God, advocate of godly living, and counselor. A Sunday school teacher of over 20 years standing, and author of a book titled Intentional Parenting. You're welcome, madam.
Thank you, sir.
It's good to
Good
have
to have
you.
you in our studio.
You're welcome.
Congratulations on your
pleasure.
book.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Let's start like this. Who is a parent?
Okay. A parent is someone that understands himself, his duty as a parent, and someone who has the understanding that a child is, most importantly, a child that comes from ground to be nurtured, a child that comes from his loins to be nurtured from a very tender stage, someone who has mental stability of raising an adult from childhood.
Okay. So, coming from that, how would you define parenting?
Okay. Parenting is, first and foremost, accepting yourself into the parenting circle, having the mindset that I am now a father with so much responsibility. Having known that, then you will now see to it that every child that comes from your loins, you owe that child every duty of care, nurture, guide, prayers, most importantly, love.
You mentioned only father, no mother.
Oh, so sorry about that. We're talking about both of them.
Yeah.
Father and mother are in the same
give
shoe.
Give it to the mothers too.
Okay. It's very, very clear that a mother steals more with the children.
Okay.
So a mother is someone who is selfless, someone who has the vigor, someone who has passion for raising her own seed.
Okay, talking about parenting, staying with it because that's the focus of our conversation. We're talking about parenting in the 21st century.
Oh, yeah.
Do I have to be a mother and does he have to be a father to parent a child? Is it a must that we must be biological parents?
Yeah.
Oh, not at all. Because in part of my book, I give insight into single parenting and adoptive parenting. Okay. So you must not necessarily be a biological father of a child before you become a parent. Okay. A parent is someone, like I said earlier, someone that has passion, someone who is mentally stable to take the responsibility of parenting.
Now, let's look at, before we go into the thematic areas, you mentioned guide, care,
Yes,
nurture. Sir. Those are words that you're going to interpret for us because they look like we understand them, but they are amorphous. But let's come. You talk about adoptive parenting. What about delegated parenting? By that I mean there are some people who have children, maybe they're not yet ready. And so they send the child to their mother. So a child is now being raised by the grandmother, as it were. How do you see that situation of parenting in the 21st century? Because it still happens.
Oh, it's not too bad actually, because sometimes, like I said, it's someone that has the mental stability, like I will always say. It could be that the biological parent does not have the stamina, as it were. Then they now have to shift the responsibility to their own parents who may fit in better for the job.
Talking about parenting in the 21st century, we know that the marriage institution has been under attack.
Oh,
The
seriously.
Minister of the Gospel, talk to us about marriage, parenting, because a lot of times we wonder, does someone who is not in the institution of marriage, is the person able to handle parenting?
Oh, that's another point of view. Marriage in our 21st century is really under attack, under serious attack. So in the introduction of my book, I say that parenting has to do with mutual understanding between spouses. They have to present a united front before they can do what is called parenting.
Is it married or not? Married or not, they have to be united to parent their children.
No, for the married. For the married.
If you are not married,
If you are not married, there's always a distance. If you are not married, maybe you got your child out of wedlock.
Yes.
You don't need
That's
a
what brings
father.
single parenting now.
Yes, that's single parenting on its own.
Okay, it's different.
Coming from your question, you say that marriages in our 21st century is under attack.
That's right.
So how do we compare this to the present topic on board? So I now say that you as a father and mother, both of you have to be united. You have to accept each other, understand yourself. It's from what you do. You know, children always do more of what we do than what we say. Yes. So we have to live the life of example. It's what they see us do, they do mostly. So both of you will have to be united as husband and wife. And to do that is going to cost you intentionality too. Are you getting it? Because when both of you are not on the same page, the children will take advantage of it and they will go out of line. Because they will see it that one parent always take what the other parent does not take. And they usually take side with the one that accepts their excesses. You get it? So it water down parenting, because when a father says no to this and a mother is saying yes, they are 2 worlds apart. And you know, it brings family dysfunctionality.
Okay. So we're talking about godly and modern parenting here. So how important it is for parents to, introduce their children to godly activities from a very early stage. And also, how can parents, teach their children godly values without making it look like they are being forced or over controlled?
Oh, I like this because you are making insight into my chapter 8.
Okay.
I talked about discovering purpose. That's the topic on its own in chapter 8. Parents have a lot of work to do at a very tender age of their children. As a matter of fact, they have to make do with their formative stage of children. They have to explore the formative stage of a child, which happens to be
formative,
yes.
What stage?
Okay, which happens to be from age 0 to age 5, according to World Health Organization. That is the stage where the children's mental health is being built. They form rapidly to sensitivities, brain development, and all that. So at that stage, don't undermine your child saying he or she does not understand what is going on right now. You have to look at it, look at what they easily do better. That is how to know their purpose in life. Look at their weaknesses at that time. Don't ignore any step at all. Just be noting it down. A child may be good in this area and the other. Do not compare 2 children because they are different persons entirely. So nurture your child individually, personally. Each child has his or her own calling. So it is very important that at that stage, parents ought to explore every opportunity they have at that time, because children are just like plain sheet of paper, just like this. It's only what you write that stays. You get it? So the first teacher of a child is the parent.
Now, talking about the first teacher, some 2 decades ago or 3, raising the child or the parenting a child was everybody's business.
Yes.
The entire community, the entire extended family, aunties and uncles, neighbors help.
Exactly.
But now, with civilization, we have become more suspicious of one another. We have become more independent. We have become more closed up. Now, how do you see this as a challenge to raising children these days, especially when both parents can be so engaged in going to look for money to take care of the children? Because that's also intentional. When you need to look for money to pay school fees. But now you are not always with the children, not out of your own fault, but because of concern to put food on the table, to clothe the children, to get the family running. What do you see that as a challenge these days?
A very big challenge, sir. It's a very big challenge that must be looked into before it's actually going out of hand. But I think correction can still be made. Correction can be made in the sense that you may not be able to correct yesterday, but you have to put today in place for you to keep going. So in that area, parents not having the full time to take care of their children because of the challenges that they have to meet up with, like financially, they have to go to work. A lot of parents have lost their children to social medias. Then they have a lot of vices.
No, we'll come to that. We're talking about the issue of the fact that parents cannot be all the time available with the children. Because in your book, I know there's a place you talked about, being available for the children.
Being present for the child.
Being present for the child.
Yes.
Now, with the kind of society we're in, we just finished discussing how the cost of living has become. So both parents work and they go out in the morning, they come back in the evening. All through that period, they are not with their children. So how is that a challenge from the point of view of your book?
So it's quite challenging, but there is a solution to it.
Okay.
The solution is this. When you go out for work, you stay probably 9 to 5, then you come home. You have to try to make every necessary arrangement to keep your children safe while you go away. Then upon coming, you have to fill those gaps. That is the reason for the intentionality. It's not going to be easy because you are worked out, you are burnt out, stressed, but you still have to take it upon yourself to see to it that everything left behind as you are coming, you put one or two things in place by calling them together. Children likes unity a lot.
Okay.
I noticed that in my experience as a mother, I noticed that whenever my face changes negatively, my children comes to me, Mommy, what is it? Are you okay? So they thrive more in a lovely environment. So that particular time you are coming back from work, you and your spouses, make it a point of duty to present a united front before the children so that they will be able to relax and maximize the time with their parents.
We're now talking about the challenges of parenting in the 21st century and the fact that it was easier way back when parents could be present. Back then, it was from home to the farm and everyone would be there. At the end of the day, everyone goes home together. But now, work pressures and all of that. So talk to us about what parents should do. We know that the school system is helping. That's also why schools extend closing time to 4 as well, so that parents will be done by then. But we know that there are things like the vacation period, like the present holiday that we are in. How do parents, when you say keeping them safe, we need to contextualize it. What constitutes safety for a child when the parents are away? And how does a parent, after a long day away from children, fill up the gap when they are back?
Okay, that brings us to this point.
Okay.
Children, they always feel safer with whom they trust.
Okay.
And these days, children are smarter than we parents because
their exposure.
Yes, because of their exposure, they go ahead of us. That is the reason if you don't give them necessary answer, they get it out there because they are exposed more than we do. So you will look for a safe place in the sense that if you have your siblings around you, that is if you have your siblings around you, then you keep them with them, making every necessary arrangement at home, keeping them safe, keep your home in a way that the children can't hurt themselves. Actually, there are some children that can stay on their own while the parents are away.
If they are grown.
If they are grown. But some cannot stay. Putting things in place is If it takes you to hire a nanny, you do.
Okay.
If it takes you to get your own siblings, you do. But outside that, you can still keep them in school while you pay for extra
lesson.
time
Okay.
that will be used while you are away.
Okay, let's come to this now. Maybe that will help us more.
Okay, sir.
Because some of these the challenges are more. Now, your book is Intentional Parenting.
Yes, sir.
What inspired that title? What inspired the writing of the book?
Oh, I think I like this question because that was the first prompt I had before putting down this book.
Okay.
I was inspired divinely by God to write Intentional Parenting. I became deeply convicted about the increasing need for parents to deliberately nurture.
Or you will say concerned. You became concerned.
Okay, I became concerned about the increasing need for parents to deliberately nurture emotionally healthy and spiritually grounded children, especially in these modern days that seems increasingly out of control.
Yeah.
So the burden was born out of one experiences, long-term experience with my father. I observed them while we were much younger. My father, I can't say boldly that he was an intentional father, though late now, because back then I remember he didn't leave anything undone to my knowledge as at that time. So he always wake us up very early in the morning devotion, precept by precept. He always tells us that if you don't do this, tomorrow's duty will be shifted for yesterday's duty. So you don't have to shift today till tomorrow, because some procrastination is a disease, because it will alter.
They say it's the nail with which the coffin of failure is.
Yes, because it will alter your tomorrow's plan.
Yeah.
Because time is one thing that is of the essence.
Precious.
Time is precious, and it doesn't come back again. Like today is 21st of August 2026. It will never come again. If at all 21st will come, no longer 2026, rather 2027.
Now, I'll challenge you.
Okay.
You used your father as an example.
Yes, sir.
And that's that time.
Yes, sir.
Do you think that it is easy to have the environment where your father operated now in fathers of today? Time difference.
Okay, so yes, time difference. It's not easy, but it's still possible, sir.
Okay, how?
It's still possible because majority of the fathers of today were the product of the children of yesterday, of those intentional parents.
But they're not facing the same circumstance. We just give you example. I don't know about your time. It's possible that your father was working, your mother was at home, or was a businesswoman taking care of you.
That was the case.
It made it a lot easier. But now a situation where, for instance, let me take a very hypothetical situation.
Okay.
The wife works in the bank, has to wake up as early as 6. By 7 o'clock, she's already in the office. By 6 p.m., she has not returned. Then the husband is working in maybe he's in government as one of the public officers who will close around 5. Tell us how to navigate through the challenges of parenting in this circumstance, because that's the situation we have now.
Like I said, it's really challenging, sir. Okay. It's really challenging.
But it's possible,
it's possible, yes. Yeah. You know that parenting is a multi-dimensional task.
Good.
Which has no formula. The way I parent is not the way you should parent, because we are two different individuals.
No, but when you wrote your book,
yes,
there's an intention.
Yes.
You profiled some of this. Can you just seize your opportunity to tell us some of the ways to navigate through this challenge, because the challenges are there. How do we navigate now? What are the things we should do as parents?
Like I said, we have to start early enough, because the problem we are having today is that majority of parents, they leave their parenting to chances.
Okay.
They see it as something they navigate alongside any other business, which makes it difficult. When a child is grown, you can't bend that child. When a child is coming up, you have to be intentional at birth, because it's easier for a child to fit in while she's still a baby or he's still a baby. But when a child is of age, like 14, 15 years, what you're telling that child at that time is just like entering here and going out through here. So
Or
as
you are
a
disturbing the child.
yes, you are disturbing the child because there is now a norm. There's something in him that has built, that has formed already. So the stage that your child is now, as little as that child is when you begin to imbibe these values into them. Like in my chapter 6, I talk about family core values. Family core values are those values that a family imbibe in their children at infancy. So that, like respect is one of them. We find out that this day is quite challenging for adults to even greet, or a teenager to greet an adult, somebody that you know obviously is older than your father. You walk past the person with so much confidence, and even when he's being corrected, he said, "I don't owe you anything." I've been in that situation before, and it baffles me. Or became a burden for me to write this book because we have to correct it now.
Okay.
No,
Just
so-
yesterday.
Okay, so let's look at the area of discipline. So how can parents correct or discipline a child without damaging the child's self-esteem?
Oh, good. That is, there's still another insight I gave there regarding ways of parenting, types of parenting. We have authoritative parenting, we have authoritarian, then we have permissive or uninvolved parenting. You understand? A lot of parents are very, very authoritative in the sense that they are firm in their decision taking and they are lovable too. They are loving too. The
Is that what you
discipline,
describe as authoritative?
yes, sir.
Okay, go
Authoritative
ahead.
parenting, he's firm in parenting, in discipline,
Yeah, but still
and
loves the children.
still love the children.
Okay.
That is authoritative parenting. While authoritarian is he forcefully lead the children without seeking the consent of a child. You just say you must do this, and a child grows to an extent where you cannot must him or her, where you cannot push them around.
That's military approach.
Yes, military approach. A child demands some respect, despite he or she is a child. You have to tell the child, this is what I feel is good for you. Have a conversation time with your children in a lovable manner. Ask children questions. Let them tell you their own fears too. By so doing, they will be freer with you to let you know whatever challenges they have on time.
And permissive. I think you should run through it. There's permissive and then there's neglectful. So we'll round off with that.
Permissive is an uninvolved parent. Whatever you do, you're on your own. If you're a good child, that's left for you. If you're bad, he's not interested in what you are doing. They are both at home, but he doesn't ask you about your welfare. He might be providing as he can, according to his capacity, but your welfare, your career is none of his business. He said you are old enough to take care of yourself.
Now, we'll not let you go until we ask you this question, for instance.
Okay, sir.
The book, you have written the book.
Yes, sir.
Now, what do you envisage to be the impact of your book on parents vis-a-vis parenting in the time we are in? What are the expected impact of this book?
Okay. What the book will help do in the life of parents, right?
Yeah. That's
Yes,
if I may,
to achieve, maybe for the family, different, you can talk about for parents, for children, and for even the society.
What are the benefits of this book
For
to the
everyone.
society?
Okay. The Bible says, train up a child in the way he should go.
Yeah.
When he's old, he will not depart from it. That is Proverbs 22, verse 6.
Yeah.
So my book, will do a lot in the life of parents, because if they principally follow the message in this book, it will help them to relax in their old age. They won't have headache because they have been able to raise well-nurtured children, godly, spiritually inclined, financially stable, and even academically valuable to the society. Emotionally intelligent too.
As well.
Emotionally intelligent. There's what I call 10 C's of parenting in my chapter 1, which talk about, number 1, critical thinking. When you nurture a child very well, a child should be able to know his right as a citizen. He should be able to know his responsibilities. in the society. He should be able
Even
to
in the
know.
home.
Yes, he should be able to know his identity as a person. Because I carry my own family identity. You carry your own. You carry your own. Then if I don't know my identity as a child, I behave like every other children out there. Are you getting it? So that is one of the 10 C's of parenting. Let's fall back to our question. The need. What my book profile, the solution it provides to the
That's right.
family at large, both the parent, the children, and the society. We are still on the parent. I said that the parents will be relaxed in their old age, having nurtured a well-rounded children.
Awesome.
Then for the child, he or she doesn't have anything to lose because they will be so confident that they are well raised and they will be beneficial to the society at large. They won't have causes to regret in their 60s. There's always a time you look back in regret or being proud of yourself of what you have done right or what you didn't do well.
Okay, so now how can parents, be intentional and become role models to their children rather than just telling them what to do and
not.
Yes, and not.
Yes, I want to tell a short story about this. There's this family that each time the father comes back from work, he always tells the children, reduce your screen time, excessive phone use, and all that. He didn't know that the children were observant. They were observing the father. But the father always sneak inside his own room, always on phone. Sometimes he does not even acknowledge the presence of the wife because of the screen time. But mind you, he always warned the children against it. Then one day, he found out that it wasn't working out. And he was about to ask the children. The children said, Dad, you had better stop talking to us because we do more of what you do than what you say. So from that day, the father took dressing and the whole story changed. He started having family time. He dropped his phone first, and the children, everybody dropped their phone. So leading by example is the key.
Exactly.
Interesting.
Now,
I'm talking about leading by example.
Yeah.
Leading by example also has to do with what parents have to do very intentionally. And it was because they were communicating in that home. Because some parents won't even want to hear the child's side of it. That's the authoritarian parent. But let me bring you to something I saw on the internet. It's a clip. Tony Elumelu,
it's trending.
Yes, was addressing young people, and a girl stood up to ask a question. And the next thing we heard was Tony. She addressed him only with his surname, Tony. And then she wanted to. The man was shocked. The first thing was he could not understand what was going on.
That's the height of indiscipline.
By his first name.
Let me describe the situation before you respond.
Okay.
And then he even thought he heard Tony, not his name. So the lady repeated it again, and then he said, "No, you don't get to address me that way. I will not accept that modern approach." So that was a public forum, but we saw him also setting the boundaries, right there. So it's everybody's talking about it on the internet, about what the young lady would have done differently. And some people are even saying that, yes, it goes, because now we are in modern times. You're talking about parenting in the 21st century. This is Nigeria. How did you react to that clip? What was your first reaction when you saw it? When you saw the video, what did you think? What came to your mind as a parenting coach yourself?
I just mentioned it. I said that's the height of indiscipline.
Okay.
Yes. Because looking at Tony Elumelu, he's far older than you. You don't have that guts to call him by his name, to address him directly in a public forum.
Even in private.
No, it does not.
Even when you meet him in
private,
it doesn't tell well. It doesn't tell well. It doesn't tell well of parental background. It boils down to the house.
Is it possible that she didn't grow up in
Let's begin to round
Nigeria?
off on this program. Can you just have a word of advice for parents as they raise their children in these challenging times? Because we couldn't touch other areas. There's the area of drug abuse. There's the area of So, but we need to round off on this program. What advice do you have for parents and children altogether?
For the children, to enable them help their parents to parent well. The Bible said, children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Honor your father and your mother, which is the first commandment, with promise. That promise is long life. That promise is good health. That promise is prosperity, both spiritually, financially, and otherwise. So learn to obey your parents according to the scripture. Then for the parents, be dutiful. Be dutiful. Be godly too. Always pause, pray before parenting.
So we
Pause.
should be prayerful parents.
Yes, pray,
Pause, pray, and parent.
and parent. Yes.
Fantastic.
All right, thank you, Mrs. Blessing David Aigbo-Kifo, for coming to our studio. We have been able to look at your book and then what impact it has in society. Of course, we didn't have time to deal with all of the issues, but I believe that as time
Thank
goes
you
on,
so
we'll bring
much.
you once and again to talk about the areas we have not handled. You are,
Keep up the great
that's
work.
where we end the
Thank
conversation.
you.
When we come back, we talk about other things. Stay with us. Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
Dott Entertainment, your weekly dose of pure fun, airing every Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Saturdays, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Only on Dott TV.
Yes, that clip brings us to the softer side. We are now on entertainment G's, and of course we have Kira Eke in the studio. Kira, how are you?
I'm all right.
You're doing
I'm
good.
fine, thank you.
All
I
right.
hope all is well in the world of
The
entertainment.
way,
because
No,
you-
that's the
the way
thing,
you are laid
actually.
back, can you
There is no.
reassure us that you don't have,
It's
you're
just
not a harbinger of bad news?
I am having talk bad news.
Really?
Oh yes.
Okay,
Oh yes.
tell us.
You guys know that I think if I do come here maybe 3 times, as of the 3 times, I always come with bad news in terms of divorce. I don't know what's wrong with our marriages.
Okay.
But I think it's more of the fact that entertainment, they're always in the public eye. So whatever happens in their life, you always get to know, because I mean, people are divorcing every other day.
No, you become what you want to be. It's not about. It's
No,
not
but I
about
think
being.
the spotlight is more on the people in front of the camera for us to know when it's going bad and when it's not.
But if they don't bring it to the social media, we won't know about
No,
it.
oh no, wait. Now this is when you divorce with somebody, you need to go out and tell them, I am no longer with this person. No,
Is it compulsory?
Please give us your stories.
Do you understand? This one is actually sad because they spent 28 years together. At this
my
point,
God.
I don't know why. I mean, you've lived with this person 28 years. What else are you looking for?
Let's know. You are discussing the story that we don't know.
I want to get the suspense running. So, Nigerian gospel singer, he's known as Asu Eki, has announced, he's announced to the end of his 28-year marriage to wife Kunemofa Asu. The singer, famously known as Prince of the Niger Delta, made the announcement in a post titled Public Notice on his Facebook page. He described his marriage as deeply, personal. He also described that he grew and also experienced and reflection. But then again, he said after much trial for reconciliation, at the end of the day, it didn't work out. So everybody needs to go and answer his or her father's name. So the singer, however, did not disclose the reason why 28 years was just wrapped up in paper and probably discarded.
Flung away.
I mean, it's so discouraging for young people because
and his own. I was counting him as one disciplined gospel singer because the way he does his own, he brings it to this concert kind of thing, choir kind of thing. So he had a group around him, and wife being part of the group, showed discipline, and they were partnering together. I remember one of their songs that I used to like very well.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate. I have a question for this, but I'll get back to it in a moment.
Okay, yes.
So this one is Sheyi Vibes and Hilda Bassi now. Know that Hilda Baci. Okay. Are you listening? Okay, so Hilda Baci and Sheyi Vibes. But some days ago, Sheyi Vibes came out to say that Dapper Dan has been ripping them off. When I mean them, he spoke for Charlie Poppy, T.I. Blaze, and himself. Also, Charlie Poppy and T.I. Blaze had to come out and second what he said. So apparently, in the midst of trying to criticize Dapper Dan, who was his former label boss, he said that Dapper Dan gave him food from Hilda's restaurant that nearly killed him. Yeah, so you would be asking, how is this thing?
What's the link?
Yeah, what's the link now? So the link is that Dapper Dan happens to be Hilda Baci's man, that's boyfriend. You understand? So that was how she got the job. So now Hilda came out to threaten him with legal action. Said that he's going to either put down the tweets and then apologize before she would let it go. If not, in 3 days' time, he would be called to court. So that is
but that's a serious one to say that food from Hilda Baci's restaurant is was almost taking his life. That's it's a swipe at her business.
It could even be that maybe he just had burning stomach. Could even be. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That you don't need to speak up like that.
I'm sure that his life was not threatened. He was just trying to maybe over-exaggerate everything, but at the detriment of someone's business. And Baci,
it's a brand.
Before Baci got to this level, we all know how far it took her. She won the Guinness World Record for the longest cookathon. Cookathon. Then again, she now won the biggest pot of jollof. So that's like two-time record breaker. Now coming to say that food from her restaurant nearly killed you. You didn't say it gave you stomach upset. You didn't say it made you feel so disturbed your system. You said nearly killed you. That's almost
That's a foolish way of speaking.
A spoiler.
That is a foolish way of speaking. But I also understand what would have prompted that. Just to take a swipe or a jab at the man.
At the man, and
Yeah,
then you are affecting
spoiling
somebody's
a
business.
very hardworking woman's business and brand.
Yes.
Which is uncalled for, actually. Now, what's the next story, which is a woman came out to say proudly that she dated another woman's husband. I mean, I still cannot comprehend the story, but it happened. And she's beautiful. I mean, look at her though. So, Nigerian interior designer, lifestyle content creator, and businesswoman known as Ehi Owebo has said that MC Olumo is the only married man she has dated.
Wonderful.
Weber made the disclosure during an interview where she also opened up about her past relationships, failed marriages, and her experience with alleged domestic and financial abuse. So speaking about her relationship with MC Olumo, Weber described him as one of her best friends. And she said she could openly acknowledge dating him while he was married. She said the reason was because MC Olumo is Muslim. And in Muslim religion, you can
It's
marry
permissible to have more than one wife.
Yeah, so yeah.
Albeit illegally.
Well, that's
because dating somebody's husband is not marrying him now.
But how will a Muslim marry a second wife that he hasn't dated? Just think about it. It's possible that
do
the
they
person
date in Muslim?
Some people might.
They court.
It depends. Courting and dating,
what's the difference?
I have to use the word courtship because if you're courting, it means you're trying to get married. Dating is a loose term. That was what I had to use.
Maybe on her part, she's probably not a Muslim. So
she's not a Muslim.
She can say dating.
Yes, they are dating.
Yeah, but maybe on his part. So for her to have mentioned that it's because he's a Muslim, it means that perhaps they were inching towards
inching towards dating.
Or she's just trying to give excuse.
But the things people spill during podcasts.
No.
I'm worried about how much people spill during.
And I think I love it because it makes people do spill a lot. If you get them in a formal setting, they're not going to say this much.
That's right.
They will not say this much. But it's like once they get into this podcast, it's like
they give them something.
There's
something in the atmosphere.
Yes, but there's a video of her saying this. I would actually want us to see.
Okay.
Yeah, so let's roll the video for clarity's sake.
MC Olumo is one of my best friends.
Really?
Yes. Ainde, as I call him, that I know now. That's the only man I will sit down and say, yes, I did date him as a married man.
Right.
But he's Muslim. Even bus conductors have 4 wives as Muslims.
Ehi Owebo came to my show with fire.
I've had 2 failed marriages. With beauty, with money, I still had 2 failed marriages. People have a complex when it's Ehi.
People said, oh, she's always dating married men.
Contrary to what people think, I do not snatch people's husbands.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm waiting for the wife to come and tell me how I snatched.
And also, we talk about Caroline Ekanem.
Skipper. I did not take her husband.
Etinosa accusing you.
I don't know her.
People say she uses juju.
I ran from marriage because of juju. Like if I were your sister, I do juju. Don't you slap me?
She got married at 18.
I married who I didn't know. I actually think the marriage was nonsense.
She was a victim of terrible domestic physical abuse.
There was a day he beat me so bad. I passed out. I woke up. He was pouring olive oil in my mouth.
Her husband beat her when she was pregnant.
He pushed me and I fell on my tummy.
While she was still bleeding.
Started asking the doctor for my son's placenta.
Financial abuse.
He would give me a list and write it like 2,000 for tomatoes, 1,000 for Maggie.
That nothing anybody can say today shakes her.
So whatever they're doing now, I am not moved. Every other thing is background sound. I make enough money. Anything that will make me happy, I go for it.
Go for it, yeah.
Is that right?
About the man. The man. Of course, the man is not a husband of one wife. Yes, he has wives. So that should also tell you that this is not out of place. It's just that, like he said, she's still beautiful.
Yes,
we didn't say it's out of place for them to ever date. But it was, that was bread. Stolen bread. Or bread eaten in secret. She shouldn't come out to the public to say it.
She
That's
also
my
made
concern.
mention of she suffered financial and physical abuse in her 2 marriages. She said, I failed in marriages even with the beauty and money. She is rich.
She is.
She is very rich,
I feel she's matured enough
what is she
right
trying
now.
to tell us?
No, she's matured enough
She's trying to
right
tell us
now.
that every other thing we are saying is background noise.
She's matured enough right now.
That's what she even said.
To do whatever gives her happiness in terms of relationship. And if it actually means her ending up marrying this man, is not an issue because she's way matured for it.
She said she dated. That
She-
means it's in the past.
Yes, they
Past
dated,
tense.
actually, past tense. Because they'll be throwing jobs at her for being a serial married man dater.
It's all right. These are your stories today. They are somehow. They are.
It's not
they
a
are
soft ground.
They are neither here nor
It's not a soft
They
ground.
don't amuse me
I'm
anymore.
wondering
But
if you want
anyways,
us to,
thank you
to relax this weekend.
Thank you
and
for
want us to
bringing
keep
that.
wondering.
I have a
We're so
little
worried
concern
now.
for Asu
Asuikiye, yes.
His own is a bit touchy because
It
I
is.
thought they have been able to,
Resolve,
weather
yeah.
the storm and then, be a semblance of example for others. But it's a pity, and then having to come and announce it.
Oh my.
Is, all these things I
That's
don't
why.
understand.
That's why.
Yeah,
Well,
and the
you are-
marriage ended a year ago.
That's our program for today. I don't know what's your take for today as we sign off.
It's been interesting, and what I'm taking away today is the need for everyone to be more intentional when it comes to family relationships, dealing with children, raising them, because indeed the children remain not just our future, but our hope. So if we are more intentional about raising children, it's not just about the parents. Sometimes the school saves the situation. Sometimes it's the church. Sometimes it's the government through the Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development. So everyone, when the ball gets to your court, play well.
Play it.
Mm.
All right,
So, yeah,
success.
For me, it's retired served areas that they should be well treated. If it means for the FG to increase their pension salaries, please they should make every effort to do that, to ensure that these persons enjoy the benefits of this same country that they have risked their life for more than they served 35 years complete. So they should be well taken care of, and also present serving personnel and civil servants as well.
All right, for me, I am concerned about the price of cement and building materials. Where we were growing up, we had, house for all by the year 2000. We are many years away from 2000. So please, government, play your role, enter into this matter and find out why cement should be sold for 16,000. It is too exorbitant. Everybody has the right to own a house, having worked for a number of years. That's how we wrap it on the program today. We want to, pay homage to our young guys in the control room, Nkechi Kachukudi, Uzochi Okere. Of course, we have Aaron Ojefo and Chika Ikechukwu. Of course, to the management of Dott Television, we say thank you for the privilege. And then on the other side of the week, we'll be back with Morning Dew. And of course, thanks for coming too.
You didn't ask me what's my last name.
No, you are not with us. We have been here, so you just came with your gist to taunt us.
I want to say on the parenting, it's just God.
Okay.
It's just God.
All right, viewer, that does it for today. Have a very wonderful weekend ahead. Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.